Good evening and welcome to Primetime Access. I am not Bruce Lindsay, although my crisp diction and overall command of the English language may lead you to conclude otherwise. I am a studio technician here at KSL, and tonight being the first day of April, we thought it might be appropriate and also somewhat amusing to turn the tables, so to speak. Those familiar faces will be taking their positions behind the cameras, while those behind the scenes bring you their farcical takeoff of the Super Bowl Shuffle. This staunchly professional production is entitled The Studio Shuffle. Hi, Mom. Happy birthday, Dad.
Craig, got everything ready to go?
Don, yeah, I think we're just about there.
Keith, audio all set?
Everything's ready to rock and roll.
Video, how do the cameras look?
Cameras are ready. Yes, sir.
Videotape, are you ready to roll and record?
Yeah, just give me a sec.
Shelley, is the lighting all set?
I'll be through as soon as I get this light out of their eyes. Talent is always complaining about the lights. I'm so sick of it.
Cameras, are you ready?
Camera 1 ready.
Camera 2 ready.
Okay then, here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cue 'em.
We are Five's production crew, shuffle on down, bringing it to you. We are the people you never see, behind the scenes on your TV. We think we're better at what we do than all those folks at Channel 2. Now we're not cocky, but one thing more, we beat the socks off of Channel 4.
I'm a cameraman, my name is Dapper Dan. The guys, they call me the Studio McMahon. I rack my focus while I pet up and zoom. My personality, it's always in bloom. I wear my headband for you all to see, cause my boss's name is Mr. Brady.
I'm a video tech here at KSL. If I mess up, I'll surely catch. I record the feeds from the network base, from satellites way far out in space. I play them back for people to see. When you watch your program, just thank me.
We are Five's production crew, shuffle on down, bringing it to you. We are the people you never see, behind the scenes on your TV. We think we're better at what we do than all those folks at Channel 2. Now we're not cocky, but one thing more, we beat the socks off of Channel 4.
I'm the audio man, some call me a rebel. I bring you the voices, the bass and the treble. So blow out your ears and crank up that knob. There's no one else better at doing their job. I give you the best in stereo sound. In fact, I'd wager it's the best in town.
My name is Bob, I'm an engineer. If trouble's here, then have no fear. If you see this sign, then it's no joke. Something on our end must be broke. We'll hurry and scamper and scurry and such. We'll fix it up right, cause we got the touch.
I'm the punky LD, known as Farrell. I do all the lighting here at KSL. I flood each set and make it bright, so Welty and Norris all have enough light. With my keen eye and years of skill, I don't make things look run-of-the-mill.
We are directors here at KSL. When the going gets tough, we scream and yell. We control our crew with a firm command. Now we're not that mean, you understand. We enjoy being here, singing and rapping. The Studio Shuffle, now that's what's happening. We are Five's production crew, shuffle on down, bringing it to you. We are the people you never see, behind the scenes on your TV. We think we're better at what we do than all those folks at Channel 2. Now we're not cocky, but one thing more, we beat the socks off of Channel 4.
Okay, that's a wrap, people. Steve, did we get a good recording?
Yeah, as soon as I get the tape back on the reel.
You guys about finished so I can clean up in here?
That was my first and hopefully only attempt at hosting a television program. Do you think it was just a coincidence it aired on April Fools? Anyway, I'm glad I got a chance to say hello to you, Mom, and to wish Dad a happy birthday on live TV. Tonight, however, the tables are turned. On behalf of your entire family, Mom, I'm wishing you a happy birthday. This tape And the surprise party is to honor you and all you've done for us. This next presentation should start things in motion. It's the first time, to my knowledge, that you and Dad were captured on film in a motion picture. This rare footage also documents several other acting debuts, and the producer, well, I think he's gone on to do better things.
Wow, good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Never. Said. Whoa. Oh, yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely. Never. Listen to me. Whoa. It ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. Whoa. It's got one friend, that's the Undertaker. Oh, boy. It shattered many a young man's dreams. Made him disabled, bitter and mean. Life is much too short and precious to spend fighting wars each day. War can't give life, it can only take it away. Oh, war! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Nothing. Say it again. War. Whoa, Lord. What is it good for? Absolutely. Nothing. Listen to me. War. It ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. War.
That was the 1-minute, 10-second version of World War III. Let's hope another war is far into the future, but for now, let's delve into the past. Mom, it's been more than 3.5 years since I recorded this interview. Armed with my trusty video camera, I wanted to capture our family history on tape. It's been 71 years since your original birthday. Loa Farrell Winget, this is your life.
Well, I was born in Smithfield, the oldest of 6 children. My mother was a little sharp woman, about 4'11", and my dad was 6'4". And when she died in 1932, when I was about 11 years old, and Bentley's took Doris and Janice, and they lived with them for a while, and Dad was good to help us do a lot of things, and I just had to kind of take over as the mother, and Grandma Martinson stayed and helped us for about a year, and then she had to go with her own family. She still had 2 children that weren't married and a husband that she needed to take care of, but Dad was good. He could cook and bottle fruit and stuff like that, and he grew a big garden, and we lived on I lived on Main Street till I was about 8-9 years old, and then we bought a home on West Center that had a big corner lot, and we grew all of that in strawberries and raspberries and a garden. And I went to school and did well in school. Went to North Cache, graduated from high school, and I wanted to go to college, but we couldn't afford it because it was during the Depression, and we had to work hard for what we had, and we had to help make our own clothes. And anyway, then I had a job. I worked at the movie theater, my first job. Took tickets in a movie theater and helped sell tickets, and then I helped sell popcorn and candy, and then I got a job working for Winget's Ice Cream. They had a little shop in the main theater, and I worked there for quite a while, and then Dad wanted me to quit, and I had taken typing and shorthand in high school. He wanted me to quit and be a secretary in Del Monte factory. So I went down there, and I hadn't been working there too long until there was a big ruckus outside, and I could see everybody but a couple of men, and I knew something had happened, and it did. My father and another man were killed in the well, and but I stayed on as a secretary for a while, and then I quit and married Alan, and we rented a nice little apartment. And then he went to the service, and we had a little girl, and when he went to the service, and her name was Janet. He was gone for 2 years, and then he came home, and then we waited a year. And we bought a home after he came home from the service, and then a year later we had a little boy named Glenn. And then we kept having problems. I lost a set of twins and 2 others, and then our oldest boy was a twin, and only kept the oldest boy. And then 12 years later we had another cute little red-headed boy that had hair the color of mine, and he's been a joy to us. And I did a lot of jobs. I worked in a grocery store, and I worked in a drugstore, and I sorted potatoes, and I worked in the pea factory and in the corn plant. And I cooked at school for 12 years, and that was my last job. And I had to quit there to help my daughter that had cancer surgery. And I'm not sorry that I quit to help her. I just love my family.
If there's one thing you're known for, Mom, it's that you're always there to help.
If you got a problem, don't care what it is. If you need a hand, I can assure you this. I can help. I got 2 strong arms. I can help. It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help. When I go to sleep at night, you're always a part of my dream. Holding me tight, telling me everything I want to hear. Don't forget me, baby. All you gotta do is call. You know how I feel about you. I can do anything at all. Let me help. If your child needs a daddy, I can help. It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help.
Another thing about my mother, she's very talented. She's great with her hands, whether it's painting pictures or crocheting hot pads. Mom's also musical. She's usually humming a tune around the house, and even though she can't read a note of music, she can play a mean organ. An electronic organ is not the only piece of complex equipment Mom has mastered. She's always been a good driver. Of course, she learned on something that now belongs in a museum.
I learned to drive a Model T Ford truck that Dad would leave in the driveway. We had quite a long driveway, and I'd have to go out and crank it, and you had a spark, and I had 2 things on each side of the steering wheel. One was a spark, and I guess it was the gas feed, and then you had 3 pedals on the floor. One was a backup pedal, and one was to go forward, and one was a brake. And then later on, Dad bought a Model A Ford, and I got a license when I was 16, and he let me drive it to high school a time or 2. And then later on, when I was working at the factory as a secretary, we bought a new car in 1941. A Nash car, and then Dad was killed in 42, and that was 10 years after Mother died. And then I helped the girls go to school, helped my sisters graduate. I did go back and work at the factory for a while after Dad got killed.
As children and grandchildren, we don't really quite know how lucky we have it. Mom and Dad grew up in a different time, a time of scarcity, a time of depression.
Well, things was pretty rough. We never had much money to spend. I know once in a while I'd get a nickel. I'd get a chance to go to the store. You could get penny candy bars and a loaf of bread for a dime. And a show ticket was a dime. And when I first come to Logan, started to work at Winget's Ice Cream, I was making 12.5 cents an hour, and the girls, soda jerks there at the fountain, were making, excuse me, they was making just 10 cents an hour.
I remember growing up, Mom would tell me one of her favorite stories, the one about how her father sent her to the store one day for groceries.
One time, he sent me to the grocery store, and I bought a roast, a $1 roast, and it was such a big roast. It was only 12 cents a pound then. And he got very unhappy because, you know, we didn't have anything but an ice box to keep things in. And we had roast beef every night for a week. And after that, I learned he taught me how to, what kind of meat to buy and what kind of vegetables and that. He taught me a lot of things in my life, how to do a lot of things, and he was a good father to us, but he did get angry that time I bought such a big roast.
I make my living in television. In fact, this is the set for KSL TV's #1 Eyewitness News. Come to think of it, maybe I should have asked one of the anchors to do this. Anyway, it's hard to imagine life without television, but Mom and Dad knew just what it was like before TV.
Well, when I was a kid, there was no television. In fact, I just read in the paper the other day where radio didn't come out until about the year we was born. So radio and I are about the same age, and we didn't have a radio until my folks, I think I was just about in high school, the first radio we ever had. So at nights, we'd play games. I know I used to play with Dad a lot of checkers, Chinese checkers, and we'd cut out strips of paper and fold them and make little belts and anything just to take up the time. A lot of reading, go to the library, and then we'd play outside all summer long. The kids would have potato roast and corn roast and go out and knock the street lights out, whatever else we could find to do.
We used to have bonfires at night during the summer and play hide and go seek. All the kids in the neighborhood would meet in our yard. They always liked our yard to come to. And in the wintertime we'd have candy poles, and we listened to a lot of radio because there were some good programs, or else we'd, during school we always had to get our lessons done and our studies before we could do anything else. And we had lots of parties. We'd take turns having parties at the homes. There'd be a chili party, and in the wintertime we'd have sleigh riding parties and things like that.
Times back then were sure different. It must have taken Mom and Dad a lot of hard work and sacrifice to scrape enough money together in order to afford our house.
And at the time I got married, I was making $25 a week. And that was just about the average wage. And after I got married, I did get a $5 raise to $30. And with that money, I was able to buy a home and pay $50 a month for the home, and that was quite a struggle because it took almost half my monthly wages to make payments on the house.
Such a cozy room, the windows are illuminated by the evening sunshine through them, fiery gems for you. very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And la 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 la. So hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
It was great being able to grow up in our house. The insides changed from time to time as remodeling was accomplished, but there was always a great deal of love and happiness within its walls. The outside of our house was treated with much love and respect as well. There has never been a better gardener than my father.
Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely. Let it grow.
Check out on my mind. It's hard to get a friend that I can count on. There's nothing left to show. Plant your love and let it grow.
Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow.
It doesn't seem like over 3 years since Dad died. Sometimes I still think I can see him out there weeding in the garden. I was fortunate enough to interview Dad just 10 days before his death. His life is something that will live on in all of us.
Born J. Allen Winget in Monroe, Sevier County, Utah, right close to Richfield, in the year of 1920. The son of Glenn and Christy Winget. Spent my younger days there, worked on a little farm, and went to South Sevier High School and graduated there. About all we could do as kids was working sugar beets, and had to work real hard from daylight till dark. And we could do a half acre of beets in a day and got paid $4, and that was big money in those days. And I graduated in 1938 and came to Logan to the AEC at that time, Utah State Agricultural College. Went 2 years there and then started to work at an ice cream parlor for my uncle. And I worked there for close to 15 years, and then I met my wife, Laura. She was also working for my uncle in Smithfield, and that's how we met and got together. And after we got married, I quit the ice cream business and went to work for Dean Knudsen. It was known as Knudsen Music Company, and we had jukeboxes and marble tables throughout northern Utah and southern Idaho. And I used to spend all my time collecting money, and I would spend one day in Logan, and one day we'd go over the hill to Bear Lake and Montpelier and Soda Springs, and another day we'd go up through Malad and Downey and Tremonton, and then another day we'd spend in Brigham City and another day in Ogden. I did that for a little over a year, and then Uncle Sam sent me greetings, and I was drafted in 1944, May, I believe, and went to Fort Douglas, and we took some examinations there, and there was 7 of us picked that day to go to Army Ordnance School at Aberdeen Proving Grounds, Maryland. And I went right from Fort Douglas without coming home to Aberdeen, and went through 6 weeks of basic, and then 7 weeks of school, which was artillery school. And after completing school, I was assigned there as an instructor. And I taught combat vehicle armament, which is tank mechanics. And I did that for the remainder of my 2-year stay in the Army. And the war was over, and I was let out in 2 years and a month. I think it was May or June when I got out in 1946. And while I was away, Newt's Music Company was sold out, so I went back to work in the ice cream business for a while, and worked there. I don't remember until about 1957, for about another 10 years. Then I went to Hill Air Force Base, where I was lucky enough to get a job in the aircraft electrical department, and I started there overhauling aircraft generators and motors. And then when the Minuteman missile system began, my boss went into that system, into another area, and he took me with him. And that way I got into electronics, and then we did a lot of work on the missiles there at Hill, and I was assigned to a lot of TDY work, where we went to Montana, North and South Dakota, and all the countries throughout the West and the Middle West. And I put in 18 years there, and with the 2 years military I had 20 years. So I got a partial retirement, and from all that travel I'd had enough, so I came back to Smithfield, and I went to work at Skyview as a custodian. Put in 10 years there, so I got a little retirement from there. And at the age of 65, I retired. That's my life story.
Dad and Mom have shared their lives together. They leave behind a legacy. They leave behind us. A daughter and 2 sons, a son-in-law and a daughter-in-law, 9 grandchildren, some of their spouses, and soon even great-grandchildren. But I had to ask them, if they had their lives to live over again, would they do anything different?
Well, I don't know. I've been happy. I just wish I could have had more children and maybe been a better mother. I don't know.
Well, I would try to find a job I liked. I never did find something I really enjoyed doing. All I did was work for a living, and I would try to get an education that something I really liked to do, and I never was able to find that out.
Happy birthday, Mom. And as this tape is winding down, I hope you have enjoyed yourself tonight. On behalf of everyone here, let me tell you that we love you. At times, we forget to show our love as much as we'd like. David Gates expressed those sentiments in a song about his father who had passed away. Dad, we love you too.
You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free, set me free.
just to have you back again. You taught me how to laugh, what it's up, what it's up. You never said too much, but still you showed the way, and I knew from watching you. Nobody else could ever know the part of me that can't let go. And I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. Is there someone you know, you're loving them so, but taking them all for granted? You may lose them one day, someone takes them away, and they don't hear the words you long to say. I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again, just to touch you once again.